passing the guard, you never want your partner to get their legs in a position where they can make a lot of distance, because that's going to disrupt your pass a lot. So these two potential levers that Mish can use, if he gets his foot on my hip, for example, anytime I come closer, he can push away. Yeah. So if he feels like there's any threat that I'm putting forward to him, he can just push away, and I lose all my distance of cover. Same with the shoulders as well. I try to pass and he can push away. So I need to be good, like to get past this first layer, which is his feet, you need to be good at kind of deflecting their legs a little bit. So my aim is going to be like, try to not let Mish put his feet on my hips or my shoulders, like this, and then just see if you can step, like jam one leg between your legs, like this. Because if I can get this to here, we call this the headquarters position. Once we get to here, you can start setting up a lot of different passes. And it's hard for him to push me away all the way back to the start again. Okay, so just as a warm up, I'm not going crazy with this. Just try to like practice like trying to block their legs. When you're thinking about like your arm and leg position, generally, like if I'm wide and open like this, it's easy for me to, I want to like kind of be in tight like this. I'm covering my hips, so it's hard for me to get his feet at my hips. So when he starts trying to do that, I can move his legs around. And then when I get the chance, whichever leg it is, jam it, step over. And I just want you to jam it between both of your legs like that. And just get back again, start again. And just trying to do the same thing. And we get the same. Again, we've got into what we call headquarters, like this. I want to have my hips in, because once my hips are, like, if I'm just squeezing with my knees here like this, I can trap his leg, but I can't control anything else very well. I'm too like stuck onto that. I want to actually like drop my hips in. It makes him carry my weight a lot more. It's hard for him to move the leg now because it's kind of pinned on my hips. And this particular knee through pass is probably different to the one I've taught. Like the entry is going to be a bit different to what I've taught before. What I'm going to do, I'm going to step quite wide. So my leg that I want a knee cut with my right leg. The knee cut pass, just so you can see, is when I cut like cross knee through like this. But the reason I go out this way is I don't want this knee to bother me when I cut across for the pass. So, for example, if I just go like this, Mish gets that knee in. Now I've got a big problem to deal with when I try to close the gap. Mish can push away with that leg. And same sort of problem like I was talking about before, if they can get pressure onto your hip or your shoulder, that can make it hard. So we're going to go here. The way we're going to do this, I'm going to make it very difficult for this leg to come in and bother me. So I'm going to, from being lateral like this, I'm going to post really far forward, and at the same time, my other hand's going to be like a really high underhook, like this. So I've kind of like fallen forward on Mish. And as I do this, my right knee is going to come really high onto his stomach, like that. And then I'm going to cut that knee back. But when I cut back, I keep my hips out to this side. So when Mish tries to bring that leg in, it's not, it doesn't have the right angle to do that. It's very different to coming across here. Okay, so my knee, as I post, I come forward, I drop my knee back, but I keep my hips close to that side, so his knee can't bother me. And then I can come down all the way, trying to flatten his leg out onto the mat and put weight on his leg. From here I can start to try to finish the pass. So let's have a look at that again. We're going to get into here, into the headquarters, step quite wide with the knee you want to cut with. That same side, I'm going to get the underhook. I'm going to post forward like this, bring my knee forward, and then I'm going to drop and cut it back like this. And you'll see my hips end up quite low, and I'm keeping them tilted to the side to stop that knee from coming in. Okay, don't put your knee on the mat. This is another very common problem with a knee through. When my knee's on the mat, my weight's on the ground and not on Mish. Move. Just get. Yeah, he's starting to make a lot of space. When my weight's through my shin on Mish here, like this, and he goes to hip escape, he can move, but I'll move with him because I'm just got all my weight on him. So go hip escape a few times. Yeah, so by having my shin flat, I'm sitting really low. It's difficult for Mish to move me. So now he can move into position to try and finish the pass. And we're going to stop there. So I'll go through it all again. Going to step wide, post forward, underhook, knee comes high, and then cut it back and drop your hips low. So you have to use this post to actually like drive back through your hips. Once we're there, my right hand that was an underhook is going to come low around the hips. I'm going to turn my body as side on as I can. I'm going to grab around his head and I'm going to pull in. Okay, now we're ready to finish the pass. Drop down to here, block the hip, turn your head, grab as deep as you can with the crossface and pull in. You need to turn, like kind of pretend you're in side control to get a good crossface. If I stay facing Mish like this, my crossface doesn't put any pressure on. To get pressure with this arm, I actually have to turn my whole body like this, and my left hand can go really deep, and I can start to apply pressure with that. Okay, so if I got to the headquarters, I can block this leg well enough with my arm. I would just step across, and we're straight into the knee trip. But there's one thing which is very, very common from here. You get to this headquarters position, Mish will grab my leg like this. So he's going to start looking for what we call De La Hiva. Yeah, like this. This is a hook that he can use to move me around. And when he's holding that leg, and I try and do that first movement, you can hold the air or some people hold the pants, either one. See how I go off balance when I try and do that knee cut to the side, and this just frees up his leg. I no longer have the headquarters position. So in particular when they grab that leg, this is when I'll post come forward with the knee. And when I've brought my knee forward like this, I can now cut it back and start to pressure into pass. Okay. Really important that you do get an underhook with this. It's not an underhook because we're going to end up in half guard, right? So like the knee through position is basically a half guard for Mish. If I let him get an underhook, this is not a good position for me anymore. It's a horrible position. So I need to make sure I'm underneath Mish's arm. But the way you enter that from here, like I don't try to like I'm too far away for it to be a tight underhook. So at the moment I'm just going to like post really high into his armpit. This is going to make it hard enough for Mish to pummel his own underhook. Well, I'd go for this, yeah? So it's just enough to make that difficult there. I can start to drop my weight, come back, block the hip, turn the corner like this, and pull in. Remember, a few people were having trouble with that. I'm not like here trying to crossface. I won't get a great crossface here. Do you feel pressure? Like I can squeeze, but it's not strong. When I crossface, I want to bring my right arm down towards the hip, turn my head and my body. Now my arm can really collect his head. I pull him back in and I can apply shoulder pressure. Yeah, like this. Let's have a look. Here's where I think a lot of people will go wrong. I've got a good position and Mish starts to clamp. And I think, okay, well, all I need to do is free my knee. Like all I need to do is get my, like I'm past the guard except my foot's caught. Yeah? So all I need to do is just free my foot and I'm fine. So most people, I think, the natural instinct from here is just like, oh, if I just pull my foot out of that, it's gonna make some room. So if I add the crossface and the underhook, then I start trying to pull here like this. Hopefully that, sorry, yeah. I'm hoping my foot will come out. But the problem with this is like when I start doing that, I start disconnecting from Mish's hips. So if he does let go now and start to recover, I'm not really like, I'm no longer keeping like good pressure next to his hips anymore. When I pass, in reality, I want to be like really tight against his hips here. And as soon as I start trying to pull that foot free, you'll be able to feel this Mish, like I take that pressure off because I need to remove the foot. So what's happening is effectively Mish is clamped like that and my heel is being caught. If I didn't have a heel, it would be a really easy pass, right? So the way I'm going to try to pass, I'm actually going to turn my foot this way. Yeah? As soon as I turn, can everyone have a look on this side? Never mind, my 32. So, if Mish is pinching like that, and I'm trying to like pull my foot through here, it's like my bone is stopping that from happening. When I can turn my foot like this, and Mish pinches, I've got a much better chance at pulling that through. Okay? But I'm just going to use my other hand so that I don't have to put my other foot to block his legs from following me while I do that. So, have a look from here. Cross face underhook. I'm going to put my left foot onto the bottom knee here like this. I'm going to push back on that leg and lift my hips. I'm going to pivot my foot that way. Okay, so Mish, hold on. We're here like this. I lift my hips, turn my foot, keep pinching. I can take my foot out, put it next to the hip, and we're past. Obviously we're just passing to like a knee ride. Okay, so again. We're here, my left foot is going to go to the bottom leg. I'm going to lift my hips, turn my foot this way, so my knee now facing towards him. I can pull my foot out now, step it next to the hip. I'm going to finish in knee ride.